Our nervous system is constantly living in, I got to do this now or else. I got to do this now or else. To the point that when we do get home with our spouse, all we're doing is talking about the business of the day or the kids running from place to place. We talk about the schedules, the food schedule, the food, how we're going to eat this week, what's that going to all look like, da-da-da-da-da. And we do not really get into the heart of each other. We don't stop to pay attention to, oh, I really loved it that you made me coffee this morning. Or thank you so much for the way you just stopped me in the kitchen, gave me a hug. And that made me feel safe. That made me feel seen. It made me feel loved.
I won't lose hope in the night when the fire's glowing dim. I'll just let go and I'll try. Help me walk this road and find my way back home. Find my way back home. Find my way home.
Welcome back to the Famous at Home podcast. We're so delighted once again to be with you. I like the word delighted. I know you don't like that every time I do it. We are in the middle of, actually not in the middle of July. We are at the end of July. We've made it to the end of July. Christy's having a moment because I like the word delighted so much. If you're new to the podcast, I do like the word delighted. It's a delight to be with you, folks. And
you're like
Christy,
slipping very quickly into like middle age, like solid middle age. And it's delightful to watch.
Listen, I am not
so
middle
cute.
age.
Babe,
I am enjoying.
You just
I'm
used
actually going
the
backwards.
word delight.
It is a delight.
I know.
Christy, how are you this summer?
I'm so good.
This is your first time back in a while. We did Tender and Fierce last week.
I know.
But
I know.
Yeah, would love to hear how you're doing.
Gosh, I'm so good. I've needed though a little summer.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. We've gone a lot of places. We went back to Pennsylvania. We went back to Canada.
You went back to Canada.
Oh, that's true. You didn't go. Me and 2 of the kids went, and it's been so good. It's just, when you just need a change of pace and place, which I've been told is what is actually constitute like in air quotes rest. I mean, you're still doing the same things you're doing at home, but it's a change of pace and place. I think that was, oh gosh, Mark Batterson. I found it. I found that. That was an archive.
That's an archive.
Found that one though. Mark Batterson said that. I think it's actually pace, place, and pressure. So it constitutes a rest. A change in pace, place, and pressure.
Sometimes the pressure, you take it off to go camping.
But it's different, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just,
it's
literally a change. Yep. It's not like you're boating on
camping, but
no,
it's too miserably hot.
Well, yeah, in Tennessee. Yeah. Our little cabin in Pennsylvania is pretty close to camping, but
pretty close.
With beds and a bathroom.
And an air conditioner.
And a kitchen. I mean, it's pretty great. I love it. It's so cute.
And we did do that. Yes, we did.
That was really fun. No, I'm doing great. I feel we just finished our last, this summer round of Tender and Fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah. And the retreat's coming up in November. You got another fall cohort coming up.
Yeah.
Which we talked about last week. So if you're interested in that, sign up. Details will be in the show notes.
Retreat is like 2 spots away from being full. So it is probably full by the time you hear this. But
filling up and
I'm so excited. Yeah, lots of fun. Is fun the word? It feels like innovative new things coming in the fall. And when you're creating things that are new, you have to have space from the old, you have to create space and margin in order to fill up with something new. So I think that's what I've been doing, but thanks for holding down the fort.
For literally everything in life, right? We have to create margin in order to do things. And I hope that our lives are somewhat of a example for that, because I feel like we don't always do it well, but we try to do it. And
I think we all are trying to do it. I think we're all trying to find a rhythm and manage it well. I mean, literally, around here, it's like people are gearing up to go back to school.
Yeah,
like,
it's wild. Yeah.
within a week or two.
Yep.
And even
Kids
the
got
kids'
their
little
curriculum.
tutorials, they've got their curriculum.
Ready to go.
I'm actually kind of excited. I started with Micah today, and that was fun.
There are tutorials and things start here in the next few weeks too, don't they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's like meet the teacher.
We're going to be back in it.
I know.
It is fascinating how fast time goes the older you get. She talked about me being middle-aged. I'm actually the curious case of Benjamin
Did
Button.
that
I think I'm
bother
going to
you?
start going backwards.
Did that bother you?
No, it didn't bother me at
Okay.
all.
I
just
was
know
like,
that
wait, you've mentioned this twice now. Did I touch something?
I am totally going backwards. I relish in going backwards. Listen, in the supernatural,
Nobody would know how old you are.
Middle age.
You think you're...
Age is a...
I'm saying your
a
comment was
construct of
middle
time.
age.
I don't know that delight is a...
How many millennials running around are using that term?
Millennials are using words that...
No, you're thinking like Gen
Zers
Z.
and Gen Alpha. They're using words that aren't even like
Words.
Mid. Riz.
Yeah, we don't know those words.
We know them enough to say them. I mean,
That's because it's like our friends' kids. It's like not even our kids. Our kids don't know those
Our
words.
kids don't know those words. No, they're not there yet. Guys, we're going to jump into the podcast episode here today on marriage, which is another conversation. We are in between season 5 and season 6. We're really excited about season 6 coming out. It is...
Have you said anything?
I haven't said a word. It is very specifically regarded on a particular topic, very similar to what we came out of in season 5.
Like pitch with
Nothing.
no information at all.
So we are coming out of the relational intelligence series, and we may be getting into a series on kids in relational intelligence coming up next season on season 6. So with some fun announcements, be ready for that. So this is the last kind of like standalone in between the 2 seasons, between season 5 and season 6. Yeah. And so be ready. It's coming for the start of school year. We've got some exciting news, some exciting announcements, and we will specifically be honing in on relational intelligence in kids for season 6, which is pretty exciting. That's the first I said it. Bang. And
I don't know how to play the drums, but if I did, I just gave you a little...
Yeah, there you go.
What do you call it, a riff?
And again, don't forget Tender and Fierce. So you can go back and listen to that episode last week. Today we're talking about marriage.
Tender and Fierce if you...
Tender and Fierce is
It's been
on fire.
So good.
It's been so good. No, I love watching you in your calling and in your giftings.
Oh, thank you.
It's fun.
It's pretty fun to find it.
You have found it. I want to talk today. We wanted to talk today about marriage. Christi and I have been doing marriage intensives this summer, and it has been a delight.
Love that word for you. Literally back to back to back to back to back.
It's been fun.
One left yesterday. One arrives today.
Yep.
I had one last week. Mm-hmm. It's just, and that's, I guess we don't do it usually that quite close together, but it has been, I said to a friend the other day, I had left one session, it was like a morning session, and I'd left. And just so you know what you're talking about. So people come here to us in just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and you'll stay at a little Airbnb, and we come to you during the days, and we get to do like the really good stuff. And it's just been... it's similar to like a Tender and Fierce, I feel like, vibe where you leave and you're like, I am so filled up, like, because you see the truth, the true things about people. Like they get to be their true selves, and there's so much healing. Transformation sounds like such a vague, like overused word, I think, but like when people literally leave different than when they came, and with hope and whatever. But I said to a friend, I'd left a morning session, and I guess I used the words, I was like, I just love it. Like I left and I was like, I just loved it. Like I loved it. And she was like, I haven't heard you say that in a while about something. And I was like, yeah, like I really do. I really love it. We used to do marriage intensives years ago, and then just kind of got out of it, I guess.
I think there was just a lot, again,
doing
it's seasons,
other things,
right? It's margin, and there's folk, like, yeah, it's just, I think there's a rotational kind of the way, there's this, Ecclesiastes 3 talks about this.
Yeah,
There's a man named Solomon, actually, who was the wisest man to ever live, kind of wrote this poem about seasons,
I've heard of it.
Time and a season for every matter under heaven. Yeah. And I think that's the same thing in rhythm and family. But we have found space for this because it's one of those things that we enjoy doing, and we're seeing such unbelievable transformation in people, in marriages, in spouses in particular. Yeah. And that is such a joy to us to be able to enter into the world of another marriage and just see God show up in such a beautiful way. And
it's incredible
to even see spouses show up for each other in ways that they have maybe never didn't feel, quote unquote, feel like they were showing up, because we get stuck in these pain cycles. And when we get stuck in our pain cycles, we tend to feel and in our feelings, we cope a certain way. And then what we're doing is we are triggering, if you will, the other person, and that gives them a feeling. And we create these neurobiological pathways for how we relate to each other. And what we do is we end up, I like to call them the idiotic ways, the asinine ways that we try to get our spouse to love us deeper. And that's essentially what it becomes. Yeah. Because I'm screaming, look at me, look at me, look at me. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. By the way, will you love me? Will you love me? Right? And it's these thorny, prickly ways that we're trying to get our spouse to see us. And the reality is the core motivation is there. The core motivation is I long to be connected to you. I long to have a relationship with you. I long for us to be a team. It's just that our brains have gotten wired in such a way that because we're the safest person in the other's life, we give them our worst. And they get our worst because it is based out of our attachment system, which is they're getting the worst of us when our nervous system ends up in fight or flight, and then all the way even down into dorsal, which is where you're completely shut down. So nervous system is shut down when you live in such a place for so long where you're just trying to get your spouse to, it's constant reaction. And so one of the beauties is to have couples begin to see, oh, wait a second, your motivation isn't to hurt me. Your motivation isn't to get me to, isn't to even change me. Your motivation is deeper. It's for connection. And what I love about it is there is such a multi-generational, this is, I often joke, like, we don't just do this for your marriage. We do this for your kids' marriages. We do this for your kids' marriage, because when you start to see how you correct your own family lineage, man, there's a trickle-down effect onto your kids, because more is caught than taught. And so they experience that love relationship with each other. And that's why this is such a joy.
It's so, you know what I'm thinking, though? It doesn't just go down, it also goes up. I'm thinking of the parents of some of these couples who've also walked through major transformation because they watch their kids do it.
It's not just
as they're like home watching the grandkids while the parents are at the marriage intensive, you know? And it's just, and it's so hard, guys, because it's like, you want to just tell like testimony after story, and that we care so much about your, just like, it's so sacred and it's so private. And so we share like zippo zilch nothing. And there's so many times where I'm like, man, I just wish people knew, though, you know?
Yeah.
But the Lord knows. And I know He draws the people that need it. And so even if you're listening to this and you're like, I am feeling the tug, I'm feeling the like curiosity, or like I know like sometimes you're at a place where you're like, I don't even think I can hold hope, you know? And sometimes you do need to hear testimonies of other people. You do need to know that they walked in one way and left another. You need to know that, you know, I'm thinking of like one-liners of like people that have said, like, so without telling stories, but like, you know, one woman just said, like, I don't know that I've felt this peaceful and calm in my body in my entire life, like ever in my life. And that was after a marriage intensive. Okay. So we call them intensives because they're packed into, depends, 2 or 3
few days.
Few days. And so it is intense in that way, right? It's not like a 45-minute session here once a week or every couple weeks or something. But I don't know that that word is helpful when it's like, it's already feeling pretty intense probably. And so to add more intensity that's not the goal. But we are going to let's just get down to the true thing. Let's go down to the deeper thing. And I think people are always a little timid of that. It's like you brace for what it, and it's funny how it's never what you expected it's going to be.
Never.
It's usually it's so gentle. It's so life-giving and beautiful. Yeah, you talk about hard things, but you say the real thing, right? So it's like actually tearing off the false stuff that you're so sick of anyway. And you get to the real thing and it's like everyone can exhale, and it's just really cool.
Yeah. And the thing that I want to say today is this, so we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put a link there for, you can fill out a form. If you're interested in a marriage intensive, fill out the form. We'll set up a call with you. And also too, the other component of that is we also do a group coaching program, a marriage group coaching program, which is just such a joy as well. And
is it a delight though?
It's a delight.
Also?
It's also a delight.
It's a joy and a delight.
It's a joy and a delight. So this is a way for you to be able to really go through what we're doing in an intensive, without having to travel and without having to take time out of your schedule.
Talk about it a little bit, because I like what you guys are doing in it, because I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, we're basically doing the things that we do in an intensive. And so we take 5 couples through a 10-week program. And so we meet once a week for 10 weeks. And and what's great about a group, you might initially go, well, wait a minute, a group with a marriage, but what's beautiful about it is seeing these couples come together and realize oh my word, we're not the only ones. And after the first 2 to 3 weeks, everyone's still feeling each other out. And then all of a sudden it's everyone's like, oh my word, you too. And now all of a sudden this person's saying something that connects to this person, and so on and so forth. And so you're answering questions and you're going through these times together that everyone's experiencing at some level. And it just takes the loneliness out of it. Yeah. There's a sense of universalism that's I'm not the only one. We're not the only ones. And I think so often we get stuck in our brokenness, in our dysfunctional patterns of relating, our pain cycles, if you will. We get stuck in these and then what we do is we come into agreement with the enemy, where the enemy's kind of you're the only ones.
Right.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with your spouse? And then we start to get these the enemy just wants to plant thoughts, and we're to take our thoughts captive. And so in order to take our thoughts captive, and that's the thing so anyway, let me talk about taking our thoughts captive. It's helpful. One way that's helpful to take your thoughts captive is to realize you're not the only ones. Yeah. And then to see a purpose for your marriage that's so much bigger than you ever could have ever imagined, because now all of a sudden you're starting to see your marriage in a very different way. So if you're interested in that too, sign up. The same form is there. Just let us know which one you're interested in. We'll set up a call with you and give you the details, and would love to have you be a part of it.
And if you're not sure, set up a call and you can figure out which one.
You. That's right. Yeah. And so the thing that I want to say today is this, especially as you're listening to this episode, is, we're big on emotional safety in marriage. This whole thing of Famous at Home started actually with the kids. And so next week, we will start with season 6. It'll be on relational intelligence in kids and get back to the core of where we all started from. But the reality is that coming out of that, we realized in order to raise great kids, we've got to have healthy marriages. And this was the thing, and research shows it time and time again, that the health of the marriage there's a correlation between the health of the marriage and how children turn out. And so we were like, well, let's move into marriage as well. And so this whole idea of emotional safety with kids, it transfers right over with emotional safety in marriage. And one of the things that I would just love for you to do, if there's any one thing that you're taking away from this episode today and you're going, yeah, that is us, we're caught in these pain cycles. You may have heard it said that it takes 5 to 20 positives to counteract every one negative. And so if you're in your relationship, if you're in your marriage and you're having these constant pain cycle moments and the thoughts are, well, if only she would pick up, the toys, before I get home, or if only she would have done the dishes, or if
If you
only
could
she
see my
would have
face.
done.
If you're just listening, if you could see my face.
But those are the things we do in our brain.
Do
We
you
do a
think
tit
those,
for
wait,
tat.
do you think those things?
I don't think those things anymore.
were-
I used to think those things in the early years of parenting whenever it was like,
Really?
oh, I think I don't know that
Guys,
I don't think
this
I've
is a
ever
deep
met
revelation.
a couple that didn't have well, you would do the same thing with me though, because you'd be passive aggressive about it though. If you were overtired, I'm thinking about, because by the way, so this is as we have this conversation, one thing I want to put into context, especially in the early years of parenting, when the kids are the youngest. Like I was talking to a guy at church yesterday. They've got 4 kids, and all 4 of them, I think, are like 4 and under. Like,
Yeah.
and so you're just
Yeah,
like, they are in it. And when you're in those early years, it's very easy when you're not getting sleep. I think it's one of the best ways. If there was any one thing I want to do against my worst enemy, be sleep deprivation. It's like you're
horrible.
already sleep deprived.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you've been doing more of taking care of the kids or cleaning up the house or something, and you just need your spouse to pull their weight, we get passive aggressive. We have these ways that we dance, right?
Yeah.
We get passive aggressive. One of Christi's that she used to do many, many moons ago. I mean, this was like eons ago before she was a new creation. She would sigh. It'd be like,
do you know what's wild though? Okay, let's put it in the context of what we know now. That right there is actually a nervous system thing.
It is a nervous system thing.
You're not consciously doing, but it is
I don't know. I think you were consciously doing it as a way to send a message.
No,
to
I
your
wasn't.
husband.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't. That is such a sign of so much pent up anger that you are not releasing. So it's literally like, think of it
And
anger,
that's what you did for many
like
years.
steam in your body, and it's just like the top gets like off, and it's a little bit of a let off, and that's a sigh. That's not a contented sigh. We talk about the contented sighs all the time in Tender and Fierce. That's amazing. But this type is like, that's frustration or anger, which I did not realize I had a vat of in there.
You did. And now that you're healed, it's like
Healting.
But
Are we ever healed fully?
we didn't know that.
We're
You
moving.
didn't know that.
Oh, I had no
but
idea.
I felt it.
Oh, sure.
I felt it.
That makes
and
sense.
I felt it from the stance of like, oh man, I've got it, but I would personalize it. And you see, that's what we do in marriage is we personalize the other person's passive aggressiveness, maybe sarcasm, maybe withdrawing, maybe it's aggressiveness.
Well, and you look at it that way, that's also under a lens of shame, right? We do that when we are coded in shame.
Which I'm not a good enough mom.
That's it.
I'm not a good enough wife.
Yeah.
I'm not able to pull my weight. I'm not able to, but we're not consciously saying those things.
Half the time we're actually not even aware of our shame.
Yeah.
Those shame filters are like, they're invisible to us because they've become so normal. And usually it's like micro shame, right? So it's small things that have accumulated over time. I've always seen shame as like a beige veil that like comes down over your head and like face and carries down. So you can see through it, but it changes the way you see. And it also, it's this collapsing, like where you literally just start to, your head comes down and forward, and you start to approach not just relationships, but life that way. It's like, I am less than.
That's right.
Shame is like that message that there's something truly bad or wrong within me. And I mean, talk about marriage where it's the most, or ideally, right? This is the most vulnerable, intimate relationship we have. I get to be, I want to say exposed, because that's what shame hates. Shame is terrified of being exposed. So I get to be exposed with this person, and our shame is fighting tooth and nail to keep that from happening because it's so afraid of being exposed.
I don't know that I have very many memories of a marriage intensive where shame was not one of the core issues?
I think it is marriage. Like it is one of the biggest players, and it should be, right? Like where else is God going to heal our shame? Where?
What do you think marriage is all about?
Yeah,
It's the most sanctifying relationship on the planet.
but
If we
how
allow
else?
it to be. If we allow it to be. If
Yeah.
we allow it to
But
be.
if we get super triggered and stuck in our shame, we'll stay in our pain cycle. And pain cycle is one of the things we do in the beginning of an intensive, because until you know your pain cycle, you literally don't, you're both operating out of such trigger. Like that, you do that makes me feel this way. And so I respond by this, which makes that you feel like this, and that this is how this goes, right? And what's funny is like, it's nuanced, yeah, but like they're so similar. Mm-hmm. It's so similar. And you realize like, oh, we just keep doing this thing again and again and again. Oh, so it's not, I think people come in thinking they have to like, there's so many things to address. And really there's like a few core little roots. You pull those up. And I don't mean pull those up as if you're like throwing them out in the trash. It's like you tenderly like look at those things and touch them, and they are healed. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel the sting.
You don't need to be as prickly.
The prickles are gone, right? It's like that sting in my spirit every time you used to do that or say that, or I felt, it's like, that's weird. Like I remember being like that, but I don't feel it anymore. And that's when you know.
I love the way that Tim Keller talks about this. He describes it in Ephesians 5:21. So this is Ephesians 5. This is right before the husband and wife chapter of, wives, submit to your husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave his life for her. Before that, he said, it says, Paul writes, submitting to one another, living under the Holy Spirit, submitting to one another as to Christ. And you're just like, okay, so what does mutual submission ultimately look like? And when you look at it, the way Tim Keller describes it, it is the ability to give criticism without crushing the other person, the ability to receive criticism without being crushed, and the ability to let go. In other words, you don't carry residual anger.
Which, it's like shame and anger.
Shame and anger.
Those are the root. Like those are the root. You get to the bottom of those things because you're carrying shame. Like to be able to receive criticism and not, what was your word? Crumble? Not collapse? Crash? Oh, crushed.
No, crush. Well, the ability to give criticism without crushing.
And to receive it without being crushed. Yeah. That's an internal work that actually has very little to do with husband and wife. Like, yeah, we need to learn how to do number one, right? Or say it without crushing. But even that's out of anger, right? The reason we go to crush is because we're so terrified, and then anger comes out. So you deal with some of these deeper things in each of you, and it is beautiful to watch.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like all the other stuff, and there's so many beautiful people doing work in the marriage space, but like, I think there are root issues that we could save a whole lot of time if we just like go there. And then all of this other stuff just goes away.
And your spouse starts to see this cycle. Your spouse starts to see all the cool little things and intricacies of who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what Paul writes in Ephesians 5 is this whole marriage thing is a mystery.
Yeah.
Like our spouse is a mystery. Like the longer I'm married to Christi, the more of a mystery she is in a beautiful way. The more it's like, I want to continue to study who she is. I want to continue to learn what makes her tick, because it's just this continual unveiling of beauty.
Unveiling. And what does that require? Literally, to be unveiled means to be exposed, right? It's like the removal of our shame.
But when we are living in that, we shut each other down because we are shut down.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part of that. So I'm going to go back to what I was describing, and as kind of an antidote to everything that we're talking about, is kind of like, how do you leave this conversation, have a conversation with your spouse, and really start moving in the right direction? One of the ways to do this is to start noticing what makes you feel safe? What makes you feel loved? So often we take our spouse for granted. And it's easy to point out the negative things that we're seeing our spouse doing, the things we don't like, the annoyances, because, let's be fair, part of it's because we are running so fast paced. We are running so ragged. School's getting ready to start again. Our nervous system is constantly living in, I got to do this now or else. I got to do this now or else. To the point that when we do get home with our spouse, all we're doing is talking about the business of the day or the kids running from place to place. We talk about the schedules, the food schedule, the food, how we're going to eat this week, what's that going to all look like, da 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 da. And we do not really get into the heart of each other. We don't stop to pay attention to, oh, I really loved it that you made me coffee this morning. Or thank you so much for the way you just stopped me in the kitchen, gave me a hug. And that made me feel safe. It made me feel seen. It made me feel loved. A lot of times we don't do that because what we are doing, or if, and this is another tendency, it's like, I might stop Christy, I might pull her in, and it's at a point where we are running so ragged that Christy assumes that my pulling her in, because maybe I haven't pulled her in a very long time, is just because I want something. And it's like, and we see this all the time. It's like, so she pushes me away, which what's that do to me? Makes me feel rejected. So now this rejection wound makes me feel ashamed, can lead to more shame, which leads to more anger. And then you just get this repeated cycle.
Around we go.
And so what I would encourage you to do is have times every single day, at least once a day, where you're highlighting to your spouse what made you feel seen, what made you feel safe, what made you feel, and just tell them. That's all you need to do. Just tell them that. Because so often what we do is we, in our dance, get passive aggressive, or we use our uncomfortable ways, our prickly ways of trying to get our spouse to love us deeper, rather than complimenting them, rather than honoring them. And just every day, just practice. If something in your mind sparks to go, ooh, that was sweet. I loved even just sitting, outside together for 3 minutes just to talk. Say that. Put it out into the light. Get it out there.
Yeah. And I want to say to those listening that your first thought is, I have no idea what makes me feel safe. I have no idea. I don't know the last time I felt safe. You are not alone. You are not uncommon even. I find that I hear that fairly often. I don't want to say that's the norm, but it's trending more that way, where it's like, I have no idea. Like and it's not maybe that you don't feel safe at times, but you've never noticed it, first of all. And so just have a whole lot of compassion for yourself, that this may be like a whole new way to evaluate yourself, your interactions in your environment, with your people, in your world, because you might be living in a system that is braced for constant threat. And so if you are, you're not looking for safety, because that literally is a dangerous thing. It is dangerous to pay attention to that information when you are expecting threat. So if that's happened in your home, and I'm not talking about abuse situations, I'm talking about entirely different, emotionally safe, okay? So we're talking about, this is like, I don't feel seen. I don't really feel understood. I'm not sure anyone really gets me. Like, I just kind of feel alone. I don't feel like I can ever fully be myself. I don't feel like I could say that to my spouse and have it received, right? That could be super threatening to say, when you helped me bring in the groceries, that made me feel really loved. That made me feel so wildly vulnerable that you're like, heck no, I won't go. So pay attention to that. You will get there, but you have to start where you are at by noticing what makes you feel safe. Because this isn't just about the marriage. I know we're talking about marriage today, and I know we're talking about marriage intensives and coaching, and it's phenomenal, but it's two separate humans that are put in a marriage, and they're equally valuable. I think often even in church world, we've prioritized the covenant of marriage over a person. And I'm not saying I am so for the covenant of marriage. I'm also I know that God so loves people. And so we're not discounting one person for the sake of the marriage. It's like, what makes you feel safe? Oh, okay. I had, my daughter came up and cuddled me and like on my lap, and I felt, because here's the thing, this is where you have to start paying attention to these signs. I sighed. I settled into the couch. I felt like my mind slowed down. Those are signs right there. That might be what safety feels like to you. But safety is going to feel different to you than it does to me, than it does to Josh. There's commonalities for sure. But when we actually think about what feels safe, most of us, that's a very vague, strange word that we don't really talk about much in society or in life. So to realize that's okay. But what might that be for you? This might be a very new journey of what are the things in my life that actually create a sense of security? I know, just incredible women who are in their second year of Tender and Fierce. So these are women gone through Tender and Fierce, went to the retreat, and are in now what we call our discipleship group. So they're doing a full second year discipleship, like mentorship. And we were talking about this very word, safe. And so many of them were in tears over, I want that so bad, but I still don't feel safe. And that could come from so many things. That could come from just cultural stuff. That could come from childhood stuff. That could come from marriage. That could come from just you. That could just come from, there is something inside that just doesn't feel safe in this world. Like, I don't mean physically safe, although that encompasses it, but like, I just don't feel like fully aligned, where it's like, I'm contented and safe in who I am and with others. And so I throw that out there to all those that hear these words and think like, oh shoot, I don't know. That's part of it. That's great. This means this is day one where you get to figure that out for you. What makes you feel safe? It might be, we start real small in tender color, light, a texture, something that's comforting, something that feels light. I'm going to use Josh's word, maybe delightful in some way. And then what happens inside you when you observe that thing, you feel that thing is said to you, you hear that thing, it might be music, it might be beauty. What happens inside of you? That right there starts to change everything. It turns off all these threat sensors. And if you're living in a marriage where you just don't feel fully safe, again, because there's just some sort of threat, like us early days, kids were the threat. Okay. So we were exhausted. Everything felt urgent. Everything was like ride or die. Like it just felt like we're we're just surviving. Mm-hmm. That's threat, right? That's threat, just life. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't have to be these big dramatic things. It's like, we have no time. There's never enough time. That's a threat, constant threat. Not enough money, threat, constant threat. Don't feel safe. So in a marriage, those things play out differently. And it's like, I'm being prickly and weird to you. I don't even know why I'm acting this way, but it's because I don't feel safe. Mm-hmm. So we get to the bottom of it. It has nothing to do with you and me. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it literally has nothing to do with you and me. And we get to the bottom of it and it feels this like, oh, there we go.
And what I would encourage you to do, you have to rewire your brain for this, because there's a reason you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's because your left brain hasn't labeled it. Your left brain hasn't been able to put words to it. Yep. This is where journaling comes into play. So if your spouse, if you don't feel like, I don't know if I could be that vulnerable yet with my spouse, journal it, write it down, make a list every morning of the things the previous day, or do it at night before you go to bed. So you remember what were the things that day that just, and listen, this might not even be this big, like, overwhelming sense of like an 8 or 9 or a 10 feeling.
Right.
This could just simply be as Christy's talking about, a sigh, right?
It could be your morning coffee. Okay.
It could be that you got 5 minutes sitting on the toilet without a child interrupting you.
That's real. Like that's about as real life as you get.
And so write those things down, talk about those things, because even that is a way to go to your spouse. Hey, I realized that was such a joy for me today to just get 5 minutes to sit on the hopper and, without a kid interrupting. Can I get 5 minutes? Like, would you be able to take?
When you pull in the driveway and the kids get out of the car and you don't, and you stay for 5 minutes in the car, maybe 10. That right there, maybe that's your like, oh, I feel safe. So, and the deeper than that, now why? What about it? Why did that feel safe?
And the thing that I would say is a lot of times what we train our children to do is to notice when something feels off, in air quotes. So what feels off? Because you might not be able to label an uncomfortable feeling right away, but you just know something feels off. Listen, there are moments throughout the day that we have that we just don't tap into, that we went, oh, it's that sigh. It's that. And I don't want to say you're on, because on is more of a connotation of like, you have to be turned on, like anxiety, like I have to do this now or else type of turned on. What I'm describing is a sense of just, where is that for you? Where you just know it didn't feel off. It just felt right. What feels right throughout your day? What felt right? And if you can share that with each other, what it does is it begins to give insight into your spouse of what makes you who you are. And you're inviting each other very slowly into a journey that you're starting to figure out each other. That's what the beauty of this is when it comes to marriage. And so this is a little bit of what we do, and just want to be able to pass some of that on to y'all to, start moving forward in your marriage.
Because I think sometimes we think it's such a big thing, right? Like, to even talk about it just feels like, it's like such a big thing. That right there is threat, right? It's like, this is huge. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be like whatever it is, like to get to the bottom of this already feels unsolvable. And just realize right there, you're triggering the very same thing. And so what we're going to come in and do is the very opposite. It's creating safety. That's all you do, really. That's how we heal. That's what Jesus did. Like literally, he is the safest. That's what he came, is to allow us to experience perfect safety. Because we'll never actually be perfectly safe. Not in a relationship, not in an environment, not in this world. However, we can experience it.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
All right. Shalom, shalom. We love you all. We are genuinely praying this for you all. And until next week. Oh, by the way, just remember, everything's in the show notes. Tender and Fierce, fall cohort.
Come.
Marriage form to fill out if you're interested in the group coaching or you're interested in an intensive. And until next week, keep in mind that the greatest red carpet you will walk is through your front door.